not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show on a Friday, January 16th, 2026. Amen. It's Friday, my friends. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And I know we all worry about car accidents or getting in an accident with a big rig. But what happens when your neighbor's dog attacks you? What happens when somebody else's negligence causes you an injury? You got to think about those things. You didn't deserve for somebody to hit you while they were riding their scooter because they were on the sidewalk when they shouldn't have been. You didn't deserve to get knocked off your bicycle. All of those things matter, right? When you're hurt and it's not your fault, that's when you need to get to the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And again, I tell you, I think the best part about working with the Advocates, and you get this on a regular basis, they understand your situation. They're compassionate. They're empathetic. They fought your fight. And more importantly, they've won your fight because so many people have gotten clear, risk-free advice from the Advocates. At theadvocates.com, you have nothing to lose because you never reach into your pocket to pay the Advocates. You don't cut them checks. You don't pay them retainers or consultation fees. You just get clear, risk-free advice. And you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. Good Friday. And yes, it is a long holiday weekend. Enjoy it, my friends. Enjoy it. Pete Forte said, rip the butt buzzer. Tough day on the show yesterday. The butt buzzer resigned. It's tough to do it. Corey says, happy finish strong Friday. Go Patriots, go Hoosiers. Have a great weekend, Monty and Jake. Thanks for helping me through some long mornings with my newborn.
We do what we can, brother.
Is that your first?
Brother.
Is that your first newborn? Mike Smith, first one in. No, sorry, buddy. Welcome to the nightmare. Second one in. Go Dodgers. Okay, can we get into this Dodger thing real quick? I am not a fan of Kyle Tucker. I think I told you guys this all season long on the show last year.
Mr. Calisthenics outfielder guy.
Yeah, Jake and I went to Chicago to see the Cubs on opening day. And Kyle Tucker's just out there stretching, And the funny thing is that I think one of the biggest questions that came out of Kyle Tucker's 4-year, $240 million contract with a $30 million deferral, does Major League Baseball have a money problem? And a lot of people were pointing to the fact that the Dodgers had multiple opportunities not to win a world championship last year. Toronto had them on the ropes. The Padres had them on the ropes. And the sentiment is, well, what if the Padres had an extra $100 million to spend? Well, I don't know. If my aunt or my uncle, she'd have balls, but she doesn't, so she's not. Right?
Sorry, we're offended by that.
Yeah, we can play the what if game. The bottom line is, this is the Big 12 conversation. The LA Dodgers are doing everything that they can do to win every single World Series. And to me, I just don't see how we fix that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think saying, well, what if the Padres had 100 mil, or what if this team had 100 mil more? The reality is they do have 100 mil more. They're choosing not to spend it, and then we want to vilify the Dodgers.
That's
and
right.
So what's difficult for me is this whole woe is me mentality or victimhood mentality around these squads that don't want to spend money. This is the Ricketts and the Cubs all over again, dude. You know, everyone's all
Why do you
appeased in
gotta make it
Chicago.
personal?
Well, because it's the truth. Like the Ricketts don't want to spend money, and
We don't.
and so you waited an
We-
extra calendar year to sign Bregman. You signed Bregman, and now all of a sudden you're heroes in the city. Like, come on, dude. Like I just think that it's this in Major League Baseball specifically. There is very clearly teams that are trying to win and teams that are not trying to win. And anybody telling you that someone who owns a Major League Baseball team doesn't have an extra $100 million laying around is out of your damn mind. If you own a Major League Baseball team, the Major League Baseball team is not the sole thing making you money. Just so we're all clear on that.
I would agree.
Multiple businesses, multiple things that are paying you every single day, and you're most
That's pretty much every sports owner. Let's be,
Yeah,
especially in baseball and the NFL, where they just make money hand over fist.
yeah. So I just struggle with the concept of, well, oh, the Dodgers are doing things that nobody else can do. That's not true, dude. They're just more willing to spend the money. Does the $100 million mean less to them than some other organizations? Maybe. That doesn't mean the other organizations don't have it. And by the way, we would also be doing the conversation a disservice by not mentioning the fact that they also know how to win. If baseball showed us anything this past season, yeah, sure, you can spend all that money and you can put all that talent on the roster. That doesn't mean you're going to win the World Series. Ultimately, this is the hockey conversation. This is any sport where they load up a roster and then they don't win. The difference is the Dodgers do win. That's why everyone's pissed. So the Padres can sit here and complain if they want to, but they tried to do what the Dodgers are doing. Like, let's not forget, you went out and got Manny Machado. You went out and got all these guys. The Xander Bogaerts thing, he didn't come up in your organization. You went and traded for him.
Correct.
Right? Like you
Correct.
traded guys away. Like Blake Snell. How did Blake Snell get away from you, Padre fan? I don't know either. Oh, that's right. You weren't willing to stick it through with them and pay them and develop them to a point where he's throwing 9-inning shutouts against the Brewers in the playoffs.
Well, and I think the Cubs are a great example because as a season ticket holder, I get to say we sign, and it shouldn't go unnoticed. I got the email yesterday saying the rest of my season ticket bill is due.
I want more.
Yeah, they want more. But my point is, so we sign Alex Bregman, who didn't want to play for the Cubs. Alex Bregman wanted to stay in Boston and they wouldn't pay him. And so much to the point where Bregman went back to Boston and said, "Hey, I have this offer." And they said, "Okay, go sign it." Okay, and so we sign Alex Bregman and we're now trying to trade Nico Horner because we signed Alex Bregman. You're the Chicago Cubs. I pay my season ticket bill. You have the money, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Cubs, the rationale that the Cubs are like, hey, we signed a guy who's got a name but is towards the back end of his career. So that means we got to get rid of a guy who's in his prime and playing great baseball.
Wait. Bregman's not.
Yes, he is. Yes,
God.
he is.
God, what did I ever do to Jake that he
Bro, you're not seriously sitting here trying to tell me that Bregman's still in his prime.
Yes, he is way in his. Have you seen the motherfucker? God. I don't want to become violent and unhinged. I will. Alex Bregman last year had the third best slugging year of his career. He had an 821 OPS last year. Right? He played in 114 games, 18 bombs, 28 doubles, 118 hits, 62 RBIs, and 70 strikeouts. The guy, he is absolutely still capable of raking. And I would also remind you, he's a Gold Glove third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows how to destroy garbage cans.
Sure hope so, bro.
Look at that. San Diego State Glenn. Monty loves Nintendo. Wii. Somebody had a Wii.
Yeah,
I actually miss Mario Kart on the old Wii machine.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you, Glenn. Hope you and the Fam Bam are well. James has quit the show, and you guys can't quit James. Right? And now we have TCU James on strike. Day 2 of the strike.
Day 2 of the holdout, dude. Day 2 of the lockout.
Can we call the advocates to mediate the reconciliation between Seaman Demon TCU James? Hey.
Oh, sure. Of course, I understand why people are upset.
The Seaman Demon.
His demon work is no.
Biologics.
No, it's not biologics. James is trying to take down pedophilia in the church. You know.
I sifted through all that.
I will try to take James' crazy prediction take mantle. So here it goes. If the Rams... Okay, that's great. If the Rams-Bears game, Puka will break a record, but so will Caleb Williams. Bears will win, but only from a last-minute field goal.
You're filling in for somebody.
So Puka's probably going to break his leg in pregame warm-up now? Is that
out of here?
Isn't that how this thing works? Fucking Maury, man.
Maury, you're going to have to change your name. I need someone to change their YouTube name to Seaman Demon James Filling Guy or something. We need somebody to hold it down.
That's right. The A's spend less on their roster than the Dodgers do on 2 players. The owner owns Gap and Old Navy. He ain't broke. We need a salary floor. I'm not even disagreeing with that. You know, Cody Hanson. What's up, Cody? Good morning. Go Hawks. Yeah, Blackhawks lost last night.
Oh, what a loser.
Oh, you meant the Seahawks.
Mm.
Okay, are we at all worried that it appears that Sam Darnold is injured? He, from what I understand, and I am not the foremost expert on NFL injuries, but from what I understand, he pulled an oblique muscle when he was taking his purse off. So
It'd be a real shame if, Sam was unable to play the game he's going to play. It'd be a real shame if he'd missed this game, Wow.
He's not going to miss the game. Yeah, it appears that Sam Darnold has an oblique injury, and there is no doubt he will play in the game. But it's not the best outcome here. It's not ideal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, if you're in the playoffs right now on the Friday before you play on Saturday or Sunday, you're looking for, quarterback showed up questionable on the injury report on Friday after Thursday's practice because he felt a quote unquote felt a little something in his oblique. That's probably not what you're looking to hear, dude.
No, it's not. And Fred Warner officially will not play this week, even though Jake, I do believe, strengthened his forearm, saying that he would. You
gotta get stroked.
I'm telling you, that was never going to. Now, if they win, they won't. He could play next week in Chicago in the NFC Championship game. I mean, ideally, I would like the Bears to win and the Niners to win so that I can break my wife's heart when the Bears single-handedly crush the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. That's not going to happen. And unfortunately, the sad reality is we're both probably going to lose because my wife is an unapologetic. My wife is an unapologetic 49er fan, which is disgusting. But
you're not seriously picking the Rams today.
I was looking at a lot of the analytics and data on the Bears and Rams, and I don't feel great about the Bears in that game. But Sam Arnold is injured. That would explain the odd betting lines from Vegas. So we'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know who Sam Arnold is, but that's he's in a different sport, I guess.
Hawks need to minimize playoff Sam. This could be a good thing.
Playoff Sam is incredible, dude.
Should we just end the show now? Because you guys are all in full red assery mode. Maury's over here trying to knock off James so he can be the Grim Reaper of sports now.
The blacklister.
Stay hard.
San Diego State Glenn says F the A's. I feel better now.
I mean, right?
I mean, you know.
Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm on the Seahawks in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to lean Bears. That's going to be tough. I think this one right here. This is going to be very difficult.
Got to go with the Patriots, dude. I know the Texans have that defense, but they are on the road. The Patriots the Patriots are playing at home. The expectation is that the Patriots should win this ball game. It's in the playoffs.
Texans.
Okay. The Texans aren't going to have the physical advantage, dude. It's a Mike Vrabel coach football team. You're not going to out-physical them like you have with the Steelers and other teams.
Yeah. I think it's going to be I just maybe, listen, we don't have anybody to throat slam anymore on this show because your boy Lanning choked on it again, but
sucking a ding dong.
I love that Texans front seven. I love their pass rush. I love their defense. I think it's the best defense left in the playoffs right now. That or the Seahawks. I think they're both better than the Broncos, who I think are going to beat the Bills. I'm going to take Texans. I'm going to take Broncos. I think we are going to have a Broncos-Seahawks Super Bowl.
A Broncos-Seahawks Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think which would
you
be
have
one of
that
the
little
worst.
faith,
Ye of little faith,
bro.
In the Bears,
the Bears or the Rams.
I think the Seahawks are elite. I think they're really good. You don't buy into the. I
think the Seahawks are really good, no question about it. But I also think their path is not easy. I mean, you're talking about having to beat Kyle Shanahan, because I'm just going to keep saying it. You're not beating Brock Purdy. You're beating Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
That
The
offense.
defense in San Francisco they're so injured. I mean, they just are.
But we need to, at some point, like, I agree with that, but he's showing the ability to overcome it. Like, he's showing, hey, I can put a game plan together with also rans and average ass football players and win football games. And again, like, they shouldn't even be here. Like, they at one point everyone was saying they weren't a playoff team, and now they're here. Like, that's insane. Yeah. I mean, the guy has been showing us all year that he can do the impossible. So I agree, at some point I would think that the road ends for the 49ers. Certainly they're not a Super Bowl team, but I'm not convinced, as our boy Brandon Butler pointed out, that playoff Sam is going to roll out here and beat this team. I do think that Seahawks-Niner game is going to be really close. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think it will be.
Yeah, listen, I think the thing that worries you, they haven't exactly played the best schedule in the NFL. When you end your season with Giants, Rams, you lost. Cardinals, Panthers, Browns, Titans, Colts, Bears, Seahawks, you lost. So you lost to in that stretch of awesomeness, you lost to the only two good teams you saw. And beating the Bears, not a bad win, but that was a razor thin win. I mean, it just feels like you gave up 330 to Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's awfully tough to look past the fact that you gave up 330 in the air, 110 on the ground to the Bears. And it just feels like this 49er defense is going in the wrong direction. And now you're in a position where Kittle's out.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree. Everything says the Seahawks should win the game.
Winters is hurt. Like, you look at Luke Gifford, who I think now is important. He's hurt. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do you do? What do you do with all of these injuries? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how you overcome that. Well, and no, I'm not excited. I'm with Mike on this. That game doesn't excite. Texans Patriots doesn't excite me. I think it's going to be a low scoring defensive affair.
Yeah, I think that you guys should give that game a little more chance. I think that game's got. I think because it's Drake May and because he's a younger quarterback who can move a lot. I think he has an opportunity to give that defense some trouble. I think that he's very good at spotting the ball. I think he can get away from your pressure. I think he prepares well. He's a tough quarterback. And he understands, in my opinion, he understands the structure he needs to play within, depending on what the defense he's facing that week is trying to do. So, like, typically you're not going to see Drake May just make the awful, I'm irresponsible with the football turnover. You're not going to see just like terrible football out of him in certain moments, and then he tries to overcome that. He's usually very good, and they just have to find a way to break through against that defense. And again, I think that there's some of it with the Texans where people are like, oh, well, they dominated the Steelers. Well, it's also the Steelers, bro. Like, let's not just sit here and gloss the Texans defense. They're very good, but they also were facing a team with Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't move nearly as much as Drake May. You're also facing a team where DK in that wide receiver room just seemingly can't figure it out. So I just think that this game, I agree. If we're comparing it and we're saying, hey, what's the best game on the slate? Yeah, on paper, the Texans and Patriots game doesn't pencil out to a 40-point dogfight. But what I do think it pencils out as is a 27-24, one of the best games of the weekend, because you have two quarterbacks who have a lot to prove. Like CJ Stroud in this game, if he has another 150-yard also-ran performance, I'm sorry.
Lose.
Yeah, you're going to lose. Yeah, I mean, you got to be 250+ in this game to win this game, in my opinion.
Yeah. Brandon's not wrong. Texans Bears could be the Lovie Smith Bowl.
Yeah, Silver Fox, dude. Silver beard, Lovie Smith. Like, let's do it.
These playoffs are boring. Can we skip to Seahawks Patriots in the Super Bowl? Get us closer to the Masters and golf season.
Dude, golf was back on the tube yesterday, and it was amazing.
Having trouble getting back into it. Rory's pissing me off. I am unapologetically a Rory McIlroy fan, and he just does not play early season golf on the Tua.
Yeah, he's overseas right now on the DP tour.
Yeah, getting DP'd. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Jerk face. Cody Hansen, Monty, I need to repeat the Seahawks are an elite team with the voice changer.
Oh, Cody, we're so good. The Seahawks. Oh, my God. Oh, Sammy. Show me your oblique, big boy.
I don't know why that went sexual. It just felt like...
Mommy, please take me home.
49ers are the Iowa State of the NFL right now. Count them out and they will surprise you. That's a Brocktober? Okay. That's fine. You have to score more than 20 to beat the Texans. I don't see the Pats doing that after the Charger game. That very well could be. So we're all going monkeys on this show now. We're all just like everybody. Jeremiah Champion has changed his avatar to a monkey in honor of Oak State James.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Jake, why don't you text Oak State James and just say, miss you? Just send him a text.
I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see.
You did not delete his number.
I think I might have.
Did you really? That's disappointing. If you could have sent Oak State James a text that said, miss you.
God, what is his? Let's see.
Hold
on. I got to try to, we texted one time. So I got to dig this guy out of my contacts.
Come on, Jake. You need to be clutch here. Come on.
Let's see.
Just search I love you. Or nudes. When did James get back on the show with the voice box? I don't miss you, Morty. No. And that's really the issue. Oak State James hates me. He loves Jake. Oak State James is not a fan of Monty. He is If he liked me as much as he likes TCU, I'd probably be in Valhalla already.
Yeah, probably.
But because he doesn't like me,
yeah, that's the truth. Yeah.
I just think, I hope he comes back at some point. But if he doesn't, hey, I wish that the all the best to James. Jake is my man crush. There you go.
Yeah, I have. This is why it's so hard to find him in my phone. I misspelled his name in my phone on accident.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, but let's see here.
Only. What do you have him in your phone?
I have him in my phone as Janes, Janes, Janes Stoolwater.
Oh, so you guys are role playing now.
No, I just misspelled his name.
Okay. Look at that. Calamoni gifts 20 Monty Show memberships. Calamoni, good to see you. Always appreciate you. Best of luck with it. Are Cal fans excited about Tosh Lapoy? Very curious about that. Very curious. Always good to see you.
I texted him.
What'd you say?
I said, James, people are asking for you. You ready to come back yet?
You should have just said miss you. That's all you had to say was miss you. Caleb Aylmore, I saw a Seahawks fan post that he paid Etsy witches to put a hex on Purdy. Okay. That did not work out well.
Very aggressive, dude.
There are witches on Etsy.
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
What? Like, what is the world come to when we are willing to pay a witch to put a hex? Okay. Welcome to the nightmare. But Monty.
No but Monties, dude.
No but Monties, dude. I need to know what happened with James. Nothing. He got upset because he said that me, Monty, and people on the show did not respect his mission to rid the church. I think he said something like he's cleaning up the church. And he's upset because he claims that I don't respect his mission to clean up the church. Bro, I can tell you unequivocally, I don't ever think about his mission to clean up the church. I say, I'm a recovering Catholic. Good luck to you. You want to go get the pedophiles? I think his mission is to clean up the pedophilia in the church and the child sex abuse. Good luck. I hope you do. I hope you do. There you go. There you go. This is what he's upset about. Right?
Yeah. He's saying that my work towards my demon is not a joke. I'm working to clean up the church.
Listen, I hope you do. I hope you do. And this is what James does. He does this to publicize himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, notice he tagged his pastor account in that tweet. Okay. Good luck to you, man. I hope that you do. But nobody here, I think people don't understand that this show is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
We have fun. James says some ridiculous stuff. And then occasionally wants to talk about pedophile priests. Okay, cool. You do you. Nobody, trust me, nobody. No, the biggest issue is James wants to use cool lingo like demon. There ain't a motherfucker in the comment section that knows what a demon is. I don't even know what it is. You do you. Nobody's judging your personal life. You came on here and said your wife was unattractive and your ex-wife cheated on you with a Walmart manager.
I never sucked any ding-dongs.
Nobody made you say that. This is not a safe space. Breaking news. The Monty Show comment section is not where you come and tell truths about your personal life and all of your ex.
Monty.
We're not the ones who told you to talk about the butt buzzer implant. That was you.
Yeah, we're not the ones that sent pictures of the Japo, car you got working here. You know,
nobody told you to send us your no hubcap having Honda Civic. That was you. And James, we love you for it. Well, more specifically, Jake loves you for it. Because Jake's very talented. I'm just a big asshole. You know, it's fine. It's fine.
So nothing happened to James. Like nothing, he's not victimized. Nothing happened. Dude is in a lockout. He's in a holdout. You know, he's not holding in, he's holding out.
I love James, but the dude is here to receive the love, and he takes and his takes draw fire and strays constantly.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Constantly. Giggity. I hope James figures out the difference between your and you are before he publishes his book.
Okay, let's review.
I did not want to point this out.
I hope you're happy with your morning show, but it will be without me. Man, that's, you know.
Go with God, James. Giggity, you're such a savage. I didn't want to point that. I am kind of a stickler about the grammatical stuff, but can we call him live? Nah, bruh. Nah. James is trying to get a new upper level IPF for Jesus, but Monty is making fun of him. You know,
well,
he is a character. That's the thing. There's been two guys on this show, Tanner Plummer and Oak State James, and neither one of them could take the heat. They're not firemen.
Yeah.
Right? Is what it is. I mean, he is fighting an uphill battle, a noble battle, but yeah, it's an uphill battle. And massive organizations have tried to clean up the church and have tried to rid the world of pedophilia. How has that worked out? But James says this is his calling. And I say, go with God, my friend. Do you. Right? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just think that I don't know when whoever the next person is that is the next James level character in the comments section, I really hope knows how to play the part. Like James, I think, started to kind of figure out how to troll people and, like, you know, work with the burners that he never copped to, and, like, you know, just trying to play the character. But when he would be like, all jokes aside, you know, Mike Gundy was a great head coach. You're gonna get blowtorched for saying stuff like that. Like you're asking to be roasted, and I don't know how else to help you, dude. Like, it's not, you're saying that, you know, that somehow Monty is discrediting the work that you're doing. Bro, this is a sports talk show. It's an entertainment product, and nobody is out here seriously putting effort and energy into what you're doing, or frankly, what anybody else is doing. We're sitting here having fun. So, you know, I just think it doesn't need to be like, oh my God, man, wow, like, you guys are we're not causing a problem. You're the one tuning in. This is the show. He's responded.
Mark Harlan, what are you doing? Oh my God. Go ahead. So
I said, James, people are asking for you. You ready to come back yet? James then said, I am literally editing my video for the day. It's hard to watch your show in the mornings. I can say it's clear that you two do your research before talking about a subject. I saw a lot of growth in you over the last 2 years, and I wish you nothing but success. I can listen some in the mornings, but afternoons just work better for me. I hope you change in the fall. And I'm going to say, yes, but when will you be back?
No.
In the comment section.
Don't do it. Just let him go. Let him go, man. Let him go with God. You know. This is so much drama over a dude who's like, just let him.
Hey, man. Okay, what did Mark Harlan do? What are we complaining about with bro? Like, I don't know what you're talking about with Mark Harlan, and I didn't have it on my bingo Monty Show morning show card to talk about this dude making a mistake or something. So what happened?
Okay, before I put this up here, first of all, let me fix the freaking stupid StreamYard banner.
That's what fucking ticks me to fuck off.
Mark Harlan's on Twitter.
Just stop right there, dude.
Again, maybe the theme of the show is, hey, man, go with God, right? Maybe that is
what it is.
The theme of the show. Hey, man, go with God. Mark Harlan's on Twitter going after Celeste Moa because he's going to make an announcement about his commitment next week. Why are you commenting on an athlete directly? Why? Why? Why are we doing this? Can anybody explain this to me? Okay, and I like Mark Harlan. I think Mark Harlan is one of the finest athletic administrators in the country. He should have been the commissioner of the Pac-12. Yet now you're on Twitter essentially attacking a kid, saying that, well, he was in class. I understand. And now you very clearly see the snark when he says, seen it all now, probably not. Why are you commenting directly about student athletes who likely are going to end up at Michigan? Why are you doing this? What is the good of this? Somebody explain to me. God, Utah, you are destroying your reputation. You pushed Kyle Whittingham out, and now you are destroying your legacy and your reputation over this. I don't understand what Utah and their fans are doing. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
I don't understand what I don't understand is like why Utah administrator guy, in this case Mark Harlan, but we've had others, why this group tends to just make, again, it's strong to say it's a poor decision, but just not make the best decision. Like you can't, like you're the AD at Utah. You don't get there by being an idiot. But like this guy is starting, with all due respect, Mark, and I'm not trying to take it too far, but you are kind of building a bit of a reputation for yourself here. Like the BYU thing, Red Ass fans never gonna let you live that down. I kind of moved on from that. Like it's not that big a deal, to me. But if we're gonna start commenting on kids' commitments and oh well, he was in class last week and now he's leaving. Like, okay, well, you're the one who pushed Kyle out. You're the one giving him a reason to leave, dude. Like you guys and the investor group are the ones who pushed him out. And now you're surprised when the kid's leaving to get to greener pasture. Because again, I'm going to keep saying it. Michigan is greener pasture than Utah right now. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys, dude. And it's like I feel like everyone gets all pissy with me when I'm like, yeah, dude, like everyone wants to sell me a bill of goods about Morgan and what this football team's going to be and like what the prospect is of these first couple of seasons. Like if you got your rosy little glasses on that this is going to work out well for Utah in the first couple of years, you need to take those glasses off, throw them in the trash, and actually take an honest look at it. It's going to take time. It's a process. Morgan Scalley, yes, he's your head coach, but he's got to prove that he can be a quality head coach at this level, bro. Like it's not just like, oh yeah, plug the guy in. Like that was never gonna be a proper, literally. I think Utah fan wanted a plug and play solution. Again, like I've said earlier in the week, like we talked about, you literally thought that Witt was gonna retire, and you were just gonna plug this dude in, and everything was gonna be the same. That's not how it works.
You cannot have an administrator commenting directly on a student athlete, not especially on Twitter. This is, again, I'll continue to say this. Who facilitated the changes that are currently taking place and are ravaging the college football landscape? Mark Harlan played a huge role in that. Guys like Mark Harlan, athletic directors, presidents, coaches.
Yeah.
And now you're on X pretty much calling a kid out for being a traitor. And I think it's all but done. His uncle is a coach at Michigan now. Celeste's gonna go to Michigan.
I would love to ask Mark Harland, what did you think was going to happen? Can we talk about this? What was your expectation because before the public knew, like, let's be on the same page. Before the public knew, they knew Witt wasn't retiring, right? Like, at a certain point, they got to a place with Kyle Whittingham where it became known before the world knew that he wasn't retiring. Like, they knew before anyone else did. That's how the world works. They're inside of it. It's in their building. They knew before we did. And the reason I bring that up is if you knew that, then you inherently knew that if he resigns and takes another job, we're going to lose a lot of talent. And Witt went out of his way to give you the opportunity. Yeah.
I think they knew that.
Yeah, I think that, in my opinion, again, I'm not speaking factually. I'm not reporting anything, just my opinion.
As a U.S. American.
As a U.S. American in the Iraq known as Eugene, my opinion is that the 2023 Rose Bowl happened the way it went down and you lost that game. At that moment, Kyle Whittingham, in my opinion, changed his mentality about the perspectives of retiring versus resigning and what he needed to do. At that point, Kyle Whittingham said, okay, listen, I'm not going to win a national championship at Utah, and I need to start being open to the idea mentally that there's probably another job after this. Now, from that point to, hey, Witt's taking the Michigan job, somewhere in there, it became known to Utah officials and administrators that he wasn't going to retire. And I'm guessing that probably happened towards the end of this past season. At some point.
And who has the biggest hand in who the football coach at Utah is?
Yeah, Mark Harlan.
You're the athletic director. And was Kyle Whittingham pushed out at Utah? Okay, they didn't physically open a door and shove him in the back.
Yeah, they didn't open the door and keep him, though.
What? And it depends on who you believe. And the people that I've spoken to at Utah wholeheartedly deny that sponsors refuse to support a football program led by Kyle Whittingham. I don't believe that happened. What I think happened was Kyle Whittingham left the door open because he kept talking and using the word retirement. And he was having that conversation repeatedly. And I think that gave people hope. I do believe the rumors that, and I'm not trying to throw people under the bus, but I do believe the rumors that Morgan Scalley told Utah, I'm going to take another job if I am not the coach next year. I think that's where this started.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that. I've heard that. I think Utah believed that they were going to lose Morgan Scalley if he was not installed as the head coach for this coming season.
Okay. So if that was the case, then would that mean that there was a fear that maybe they lose them both because Witt was talking about retiring?
No, not at all. I think they felt like, listen, I don't think there's any question. People at Utah felt like there was stagnation in the football program. They were really stunned at how the team performed last year. And obviously this year was a significant bounce back year. But still yet, you didn't win the Big 12.
Right.
And the expectation is, rightly or wrongly, at Utah is that you're going to win the Big 12 every year. That is their expectation. But I think the other side of this coin, I don't think anybody at Utah believed that they would have the attrition that they have. And in both the coaching staff and the roster, because they never believed Kyle Whittingham would take another job. I think they thought that they would be able to grandpa Kyle Whittingham and they'd buy him a recliner and they'd put a little plaque up somewhere and they'd call it the Whittingham Pavilion and all would be right with the world. And then he started talking to Michigan. And from what I have been told, there was an uh-oh moment when it came to bear that Kyle was talking to Michigan. And I think this is, you reap what you sow.
Yeah,
you did not, in my opinion, handle the departure you did not handle the situation with Kyle Whittingham with proper respect. And I think Witt felt pushed out. And I think there were other opportunities for him, and butter knives happened, and Michigan needed one singular person, and that was Kyle Whittingham. And they got him. And he took all your favorite coaches and all your favorite players with him. And I think the biggest mistake at Utah was they had no idea and they did not believe that Kyle Whittingham would be able to do that. I honestly think they thought he'd just ride off into retirement and never coach again. I think that's what they thought. I think they were convinced. Somebody even said to me, well, we kind of thought he would take a job maybe at BYU as a consultant. They had no idea that he would go and take the job at Michigan, or even that Michigan would want Kyle Whittingham.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm working hard not to be annoyed with how, I feel like Utah, the administrators at Utah are sort of trying to play the card of like, oh man, we were shocked that it was ever a possibility somebody else would want Kyle Whittingham. Like, that on its face, I understand the difference between, hey, well, he talked about retiring a lot and then it turned into resign and then he took another job and that happened really quick and we didn't have a lot of time to digest that. Okay, I'm willing to give you that. I understand things move fast. I totally get that. But what it tells me is maybe there was some of this, hey, we kind of took Witt's market value for granted. The idea that, hey, well, if Witt were to ever become available, like the heavy hitters in college football would then become available to Kyle Whittingham. Like, maybe we didn't value that threat enough. Maybe there wasn't like enough respect put on the idea that, yeah, bro, Michigan just ran through like 25 candidates who didn't work out in one form or fashion for whatever reason, just didn't work out. And Witt saw an opportunity, because that's my opinion. I don't think Witt was like, butter knives happened, I'm going after Michigan. But what I do think Witt said was, hey, I'm getting all this noise about Scally and
no, what happened behind the scenes was they told him they want Morgan Scally to be the head coach of the team next year. And Kyle Whittingham said, well, I'm not ready to retire. I'm not ready to stop coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, I believe, my opinion is, they said, well, this is the direction we're going, Kyle. And so Kyle's agent, I think, started looking.
Doing his damn job?
I think Kyle Whittingham was the exact right fit culturally at Michigan. Honestly, I think the biggest disconnect here is nobody at Utah thought Kyle Whittingham would take another job.
Wow.
They thought he was going to ride off on his Harley and just kick his feet up in a lazy boy. But that's not who Kyle Whittingham is.
But again, and initially that's okay. The initial, when it first came out, okay, that's cool. I understand that. Hey, you're just finding out about it. All right, cool. But my problem with this Mark Harlan tweet and just the whole vibe around Utah football right now is you're playing the victim card, dude. You keep going with this, oh, well, he was in class last week and now he's making a public announcement that he's going to Michigan most likely. Like, what the hell? Well,
yeah.
Well, like, how about Mark, what the hell are you going to do about restockpiling talent and restockpiling that coaching staff with Morgan Scally? Again, if I said to you guys, if we take Utah out of it and we take the names out of it, if I just said to you, hey, first year head coach, but veteran in the game, has lost most of his talent to the portal and needs to build a lot of his staff out, you guys' first reaction would be, okay, well, what's the AD doing to help him? How can those two work together to build a staff that then can go and get talent and then can have this team back in the conference championship game inside of 3 seasons? We'll
do a sit-down interview with Holly Rowe.
Oh man, that must solve, cancer. That must be what are we doing, man?
Utah is better than this. And maybe
But are
they're
you?
not.
But
Maybe they're
are
not.
you
I don't know.
convinced that they are? Because I think since that BYU press conference with Mark, he hasn't really been the same guy. Before that moment, before that night, Mark Harlan was. I mean, you want to talk about prestige? You want to talk about like basically a perfect reputation, like never any blip on the radar, never any issues, no problems. And now I feel like we're shifting. And so what I would say to Utah administrator personnel like Mark and others is, how long are you going to mentally be like, yeah, man, Whit left, and gosh, what's happening to us, and kids are leaving, so let me hop on next because that's seemingly the smartest thing to do somehow. Like, how long are you going to do that instead of coming up with solutions on how to fix it? Like, your donors were like, hey, we want Morgan to be the head coach. This is the direction we want to go. Go back to your donors and say, we need more money to go out and fix this problem that now we find ourselves in. Like,
you cannot be commenting as an athletic director. You cannot be commenting directly about a student athlete. They are well within their right to change the way and change the way they play, where they play, how they play. They're well within their right to do that. And this idea that, and listen, Celeste Moa might be the perfect example, because I believe he was committed to Tennessee, then he committed to Utah, and now he's going to commit to Michigan allegedly. And we'll see what happens. But I'm just telling you, as an athletic director at Utah, you cannot be commenting on a kid directly. This is such poor form. And maybe you're right. Maybe Mark Harlan's not the guy I've always painted him to be. I just, maybe that is, I don't know.
Well, it's hard to say. Like, yeah.
But you look at if you go to Mark Harlan's tweet and you start reading the reply section, they're all savaging Moa now. He has no character. He has no class. Like, he's a kid. He's an emotional kid. This is, how many times am I going to have to say this on this show? You are building your careers on 17-year-old high school kids. How do you think that's going to turn out? And then when they don't do what you expect them to do, then you get on Twitter and you open up a comment section that absolutely eviscerates the kid. How do you think that's going to turn out?
Yeah, and when the expectation is not realistic, like, that's the other thing that bothers me about this is you're coming after this kid on Twitter, Mark, but what would you do? Right? It's the old Gladiator reference, right? Would you, Quintus? Would I? Yeah, you're damn right I would. I would go to Michigan if Whit was there and I had that opportunity. Hell yeah, I would. With what you have to offer. If you said to a kid, any kid, Moa or otherwise, hey bro, Kyle Whittingham's going to Michigan. The most important coaching personnel are going with them. A ton of your teammates are going as well, and they're most likely going to contend to win the Big Ten in the first year or two, and they will most likely be in the CFP. Nah, you want to stay at Utah to deal with what's left. No, he doesn't. So let's not sit here, Mark, and pretend like he's making a ridiculous decision, or that he's just in it for the money, or he's doing this for the wrong reasons. The kid wants to go and get to the NFL, I'm assuming. That's what he cares about. And if you're going to sit here and roast this kid, I grow fatigued quickly when the victimhood of the portal in the situation in college football is just blazing on Twitter. Oh, these kids are just after money. These kids don't care about morals and ethics. You know what morals and ethics are in this life, bro? Morals and ethics are making money and getting to the opportunity you want to get to. And I'm not going to sit here and watch these 17 or 18-year-old kids turn down NFL caliber college football programs. That's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah,
that's
it's
ridiculous
crazy.
assertion.
It's crazy to me that when you read all the comments about this kid, in Mark Harlan's tweet, Moa has shown all of these schools he's quote unquote committed to that he has zero character. Just going after the kid, right? Like, Why? Like it is crazy to me. Anyway, this is incredibly disappointing for Mark Harlan. This is incredibly disappointing out of him. Sean the Hammer, Witt is the best Band-Aid for Michigan. Yeah, he is.
Agreed. Couldn't have done better.
Yeah, he is. West Virginia had a lot leave in the portal, but they also gained a lot in the portal. Rich Rod getting rid of players he thought were soft or lazy, even ripped on them during the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the business that college football has become. And we all created it. Oh, these kids. And I love all these people who are like, oh, they're employees. They're not employees. You cannot fire them. They're not employees. I don't. If you want kids not to transfer, you can't have created the system that allows them to transfer without limitation. But you did. Because you can't win lawsuits. So you had no choice. Do you want freedom or not? This is the gambling stuff in college basketball yesterday. Oh, we got to ban gambling. Well, actually, you don't. You have to deal with the consequences of the freedoms that you've bitched and moaned about for how long? And now you've been given the freedom of the transfer portal, and now you don't like it because your school finally found itself in the middle of a really awful coach got a job, every kid transferred situation.
Where's the leadership? Where is the guidance? Where is the
confidence that you're the fucking University of Utah and you're going to rebuild your program and you're not going to miss Kyle Whittingham?
Yeah.
Where's the confidence that you all talk about how great the University of Utah is, yet you are whining and crying and attacking people on Twitter? Oh, that's right. That's what Utah does. That's what Utah does. Do you hear Kyle Whittingham? Do you hear Morgan Scalley? Do you hear any of these coaches ripping kids? Do you hear any of these coaches calling kids out on Twitter? No, because they would be a pariah. Yet the athletic director at Utah now feels like it's appropriate to do so. This is really, really bad. In my opinion, this is a huge mistake.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly said. I think that's a great way to describe it. And and listen, this response right here, Patch, you're one of the Utah Red Ass fans that are pretty consistent here, and I appreciate that you're here. I'm not even mad at you, but this mentality of I'm still flying that flag, I'm not concerned. Fly your flag, but you should be concerned because I'm telling you that while I have no proof or evidence yet, because Morgan Scalley hasn't coached a single football game yet as a head coach anyway. It would be for any program, not just the Utes, but it would be very concerning to me that if my administration, specifically my athletic director, was out here doing this on Twitter, instead of spending time on his phone, calling families or calling coaches or basically doing anything that he could do to get the breadwinner of the family known as your football program back up and running. Because that's the dark side that I think nobody's really delved into. You understand, we're not talking about the water polo team here. This is the sport in your athletic department. The number one, hey, what was our profit? What are we looking at? How many butts are in seats? How many games did we win? How many jerseys did we sell? How full was the parking lot? Like this pays for everything else. So you don't hear top end football program doing stuff like this. And that's what really bothers me.
It's bad. I think this tweet right here, and Chad, I've seen this at multiple universities. And look at the way that and not to be a hypocrite, look at Notre Dame now.
Mm-hmm.
Were Notre Dame fans attacking kids who left the program? No. What were we talking about? Well, we haven't done anything in the portal. We're done. Huh? It's over. We're screwed. No, it's worked out quite well. Thank you very much. It's worked out quite well. And
pause. Hold on. We have a reemergence. The lockout is dead.
What do you
James
mean?
is back. James is back in the comments section. The lockout is dead. You have returned, brother. You have returned. Dude,
Wait,
roll
James is
out the
here,
red carpet.
Hang on. While James is here, I'm James, I'm talking directly to you. I have no idea what demon means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you do. I don't know what that's about. So Jake says you were I didn't see your tweet. Jake showed it on the show. Any idea that anybody on this show is seriously demeaning you is ridiculous. That never happened. That never happened. I don't know what it means to be a demon. I have no idea what that means.
Literally, we don't know what that means.
I haven't the slightest. So the idea that anybody here is,
bro, the idea you rolled out the nomenclature that you're studying for your demon. I think is the fact that people took demon and turned that into semen demon is an ode to your greatness in the comments section.
Demon apparently is called a doctor of ministry, a professional doctorate for experienced religious leaders focusing on advanced theology, application, and practical. Knock yourself out.
Okay, so it's an education. It's an education. It's a degree in being a difference maker in the church, essentially. Like, cool, man. That's great. Congratulations that you're on that path. I truly, honest to God, I wish you the best.
Said it's a doctorate of ministry. Now that I've read that, I don't know what that means. I'm not that smart, man. You guys all look at me as a god and as your role models in life, and I totally understand that. You don't. I'm not that smart. Anyway, just relax. Just relax. Nothing here is personal. It's all about fun. I believe you. Just can't watch as much in the morning. My doctorate of ministry is so when I retire as a chaplain, I can go teach. Great. I thought it was about you attacking pedophilia in the church or fixing the church or whatever you said.
Okay, so just to be clear, James, God is my witness. You're back in the comments section.
Go with God.
Is that where we are? The lockout, the holdout, the now I'm stupid. Stop it, Monty. When it comes to sports, you are very smart, and so isn't Jake. Wow, dude. Wow. Okay.
Yes, James has come to the dark side. Jake's a stupid motherfucker. Let's go.
Where is the bro?
James, honest,
dude.
Yeah, James is back in the comment section after boycotting the show for several years, and
what would I do without you?
Yeah, what would I do without you?
Schemers trying to control their little world.
Listen, the best part about this show is that we get to talk about Preston Stone's cock, and that's only the case.
Clean cut, dude. Clean cut
of Pastor James White, and I appreciate James and.
Yeah, shortest strike ever, dude.
Listen, we can all rejoice. We can all rejoice now. It's all right in the world, right? James is back in the comments section.
Yes.
James, do you want to make a prediction? Do you want to make a prediction about the Bears and Ray? Please don't. Caleb roasted. You guys are spot on about Mark Harlan. The AD needs to shut up and let the coaches do his. Yeah, this Mark Harlan thing.
I don't know how long we can continue to talk about Utah as a top brand in the Big 12. I think that Utah in this situation is going to have to show their resiliency and their ability to do what you said earlier, which is be like, hey, we're the effing Utah Utes. We're going to bounce back. We are going to get talent. We are going to get a staff together, and we're going to win football games. And I don't know. I guess I don't mean to make too much of it, really. I'm not trying to be like a drama queen, but I guess I am disappointed. Yeah, I am surprised that Mark did this. And I mean, it's not like the guy is doing what the Baylor AD did to get whacked out of his job, or is doing what Jabba the Fat Ass did in Ann Arbor. But I guess I just expect a higher, level of class, a better display of form out of an athletic director. And I am. Maybe I'm wrong. I am, like, in this moment, I'm realizing maybe I do give too much credit to Mark in that front office, if you will, that administration office. Like maybe is it more accurate to say that, Mark is a great AD, but at the same time, he's an emotional guy who doesn't have a dog to bring on the show and give his takes too, and look at this. We have some very good animal relations happening here today on the show. Everything is good, and we're looking good, dude. So there you go.
This is my guy, Django. He was very upset that James boycotted the show. Do you want to sing? Ow! Hold on. Don't get your dick caught on the cord. Go on.
Okay, see, now we have confirmation James is officially back mentally in the comments section.
Okay.
But let's go back to what Monty said about Utah facilities. They are elite. There you go, dude.
My man is back. Anyway, I think this Mark Harlan thing's a big deal. I think it is this. You cannot have athletic directors commenting directly about kids transferring. This is bad. Harlan was dumb to do that. With that said, Utah just needs to move on. Thank you. See? Exactly right, Mike Smith. Move on. Move on. Try to put the best product on the field. That's all you have to do is move on. It could be much worse. Utah could have J.D. Wicker as their athletic director.
Yeah, Dickerville could roll up to Salt Lake, dude.
Damn, that's adorable. My dog is amazing. He is like 37 years old, but he's amazing. My dog is my wife's dog. He hates me. I'm convinced of it. The only thing I'm good for is feeding him and taking him for walks. That's it. Pizza party for James. Indeed. Anyway, just to put a cap on this, we'll see what happens with Celeste Moa, the athlete who is probably transferring to Michigan. But Mark Harlan, the athletic director at Utah, tweeting about Moa. He was with us in class for a week. Public announcement, seen it all now. Like, let's see what happens.
What does that mean? You've
I don't
seen
know.
it all now. What the hell does that mean, Mark? Like,
I don't know. Like, I think it's one of those things where that I hate what college football's become. I'll be honest with you. It is really taken some of my passion for the game of college football away. All of this adults attacking young people is the worst of the worst, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think we see it in Little League, parents behaving badly. Like, you can just go down the line. When adults attack young people, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I just cannot stand it. I'm not sure who has more gray, Monty or his pup. Probably me. Welcome back, James. As a seminary dropout, I think we are meant to be enemies. Okay. You went to the seminary and dropped out. That's the cutest thing I've seen all morning. My dog's amazing. Harlan has set a precedent. More will follow. I hope not. Attacking these kids for utilizing the system that you created is about as hypocritical as I can,
Yeah.
I mean, it is
low cash, dude.
All right, let's get into the national championship game, shall we? Hour number 2 of the Monty Show is always presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. All right, drop your score predictions. Who do you have winning the national championship game? What do you think the score will be? And can the Miami Hurricanes shock the world? Let's talk about it after this from The Advocates.
Injured in an accident? You may be entitled to a bigger settlement, up to 3.5 times bigger. Your initial consultation is 100% free, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. No matter the accident, we are here to help. The advocates will fight for you because you deserve clarity, you deserve justice, you deserve guidance, you deserve an advocate. Contact us today.
Contact the advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And again, the advocates understand when you've been in an accident, it's likely the worst day of your life. When you tweet about other kids, I'm kidding. When you've been in an accident, a car accident, a motorcycle accident, we see a lot more people on motorcycles throughout the year now because the climate's changing. Days are warmer, right? The cold weather's less. Jake and I used to be amazed when we would drive to the Maverick Center and it'd be the dead of winter and there would be Buddy on his motorcycle trying to navigate. You have to be careful, right? And now with all the distractions that happen coming out of a holiday season, or we're going into a holiday weekend. I'm driving to Canada this weekend, right? If the worst happens, make sure you get the best at theadvocates.com. And the best part is I say it all the time. There literally is no risk to you. The advocates are experienced. They fought the fight that you're about to fight. They've won the fight that you're about to fight. And they're never going to ask you to cut them a check. It's as simple as that, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. All right, let's get into Indiana at Miami, because remember, this game's at Hard Rock in South Florida. Plus 8.5 for Indiana. So Indiana's an 8.5-point favorite. 7:30 ESPN. Jake, can Miami shock the world and upset the Indiana Hoosiers?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're capable of it. That doesn't mean I think it's going to happen, but they're certainly capable of it. I think that it would be, it would be discounting their defense and the physicality they play with not to talk about that as a significant factor in this game. I think that one of the edges or the advantages that Indiana's had in their run here is that they've basically just beat that ass against everyone they've played. They've out-physicaled you. They win the point of attack. They win in the secondary on route coverage. They're basically winning every physical battle. It's why the pick six happened against Oregon to start the game. The DB won the route at the top and picked the pass off. So against Miami, specifically Miami's defense against Indiana's offense, I'm inclined to think that Miami's going to make this a little bit closer of a game, especially early in the game. I would be a little bit surprised if we saw Indiana get out to like a 2-possession, 14-point lead before the half. I would much more think that Miami's defense is capable of keeping this a field goal to touchdown type lead.
Right.
My concern for Miami, though, and this is kind of what we've talked about the whole year, and it's nothing new, is Miami's ability to score on that defense. And I say that because you played an Ole Miss team that you were able to out-physical and tire out and keep that defense on the field for 90-plus snaps, which, again, credit to you. Great job. And then some of the other games that you played, you were just better than those teams. You're not better than this team. This team is just as good, if not better than you, and you're going to have to do things at a high level on offense that maybe are a bit of a stretch for you and your quarterback. And that's what really concerns me about this game for Miami.
I think Miami's defensive line is one of the top 5 units in college football. I mean, Justin Scott does not get nearly enough credit for what he does. That's a guy that's got, I think, double-digit tackles for loss and run stops as well. And obviously, Akeem Mesidor, and is there any question that Ruben Bain's one of the best players in college football in totality? I don't think there is. And I think when you put those three together, that is one disruptive defensive line. But having said that, you look at how that game went with Ole Miss. That defensive line got handled by Ole Miss. And you look at the offensive line that is old, it's experienced. Khalil Benson, that group in general, what is it? Bray Lynch, Khalil Benson, Pat Coogan, Drew Evans, and Carter Smith. Do you guys understand they have averaged 34 starts per man? 34 starts in college football is a lot of starts. And I talk about this all the time with Indiana, and that is that this is one of the older, more experienced rosters in all of college football. I think that plays out on the offensive and the defensive line. This Indiana offensive line has done a really good job giving Fernando Mendoza room to operate, to keep his feet clean so that he can make those quick throws underneath and to the out. I think this is where Miami has to separate themselves. Miami has to separate itself. They have to find a way to create disruption for Indiana, especially with Fernando Mendoza, because if you allow Mendoza to stand back there and deliver the football, he's going to beat you.
Yeah, I think that we've talked a lot about Fernando Mendoza and who is he as a quarterback. You're going to hear Miami fan and casual college football observer say that he's a one-read quarterback who is a system guy.
I totally agree with that. 100%.
I don't 100% agree with that. Do I agree that they run that offense? Do I agree that against the competition he's played, he's had the first read open or the second read open consistently? Yes, I do agree with that. That they've been winning the route enough to where he doesn't have to go through any type of progression or anything like that. Absolutely. But I also think it does a massive disservice to who he is mentally as a quarterback to sit here and say that he's not looking at your defense, not reading what your defense is doing. And
it shows that. I'll be honest with you. If you go back and you look at Fernando Mendoza's, even the best of his plays, most of his best work is short throws, quick, before the DB. He lets the ball go before the DB's even out of the break. You can't do that reading a defense. You look at Fernando Mendoza on Monday night, and what you're going to see is a guy who throws the ball where he's told to throw it. That's a huge distinction. Because when you're reading a defense, you're throwing it in the place where the defense gives you an opportunity. Overwhelmingly, I think it's 67% of his attempts go to the first read. That's not accidental, man. And I'm not even saying that that's a knock on him. That's just the reality of how their offense is designed. He is somebody who is never under center. They run out of gun constantly. In my opinion, they are a very difficult offense to deal with because Mendoza gets time. And we haven't seen him be under tremendous consistent pressure, but for one game, and that was Penn State, and that came down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think the key to this game is going to be Miami's defensive line against Indiana's offensive line. And obviously, Mesidor and Bain are going to have career nights for them to win this game. But the secondary is going to be largely intact. Obviously, Xavier's going to miss the first half because of the targeting penalty that he took. So you're going to miss that. But you start looking at Fernando Mendoza. I mean, the guy is just a really good performer. He has produced at least an 89.6 total QBR in 10 of his 13 games. Remember, I'm telling you, QBR is a long look. When you have an 89.6 in 10 of his 13 games, that's not an accident. He is a very accurate passer, and his ball placement is elite. And you look at the fact that he just doesn't make mistakes. Indiana does not beat itself. They do not have 10 penalties for 95 yards in their box scores. They just don't do that.
Well, and I think the other part of that too, as an offense, again, and this is my biggest question on the game. I have massive questions about Miami's offense and Caron Beck against its defense, but Miami's strength as a team is their defense and their ability to cause chaos. So my biggest question in this game is can you get Fernando Mendoza moving? I'm inclined to think that you can. I think that Ruben Bain's going to win his matchup more than anybody has against this offensive line. I think you're going to see that consistently, and I think Fernando's going to be more uncomfortable in the pocket than he's been against any team this season, which is great for Miami. My question is, can you force Indiana into third and predictable, because if you're going to play 3rd and 3 all night against this offense, you're going to lose the game by 2 touchdowns at least.
You're going to struggle.
And if you can force them into 3rd and 8 or more, you're going to be in a much better spot. And what's hard is the formula to beat this Miami team, in my opinion, with how well they're playing right now, is you have to suffocate them. And what I mean is you got to keep the ball out of the offense's hands. You have to hold the ball, you need to possess the ball, and you need to run the ball. You need to eat game clock, limit their possessions, make it so that if they don't score on a possession, that's really going to hurt them. That's how you beat this team and teams like Indiana. The problem is that you haven't really shown the ability to have an effective enough run game against their defense. And that, to me, is where this game will be won for Indiana. You will get a lot. Indiana will force 3 and outs. Indiana will get 2 picks off of Carson Beck in this game, in my opinion. And Indiana will inflict their will defensively to control this game. And that's really unfortunate because I'll keep saying it. If Miami had a more prolific passer, somebody who could really operate this offense, I think we'd be talking about a Hurricanes national championship. But I just don't see that on Monday night. I don't.
I think one of the things that is, man, there's not a matchup that I like a lot. And obviously, when you look at the fact that you've started 7 different defensive backs in 3 CFP games, that's a huge number. Damari Brown hasn't played. And I think Damari Brown's very interesting because he started the last quarter of their schedule and he was actually very good. They had nothing left at the end of the Ole Miss game, and Trinidad made that very clear. But I think when you start looking at the way that this secondary is going to play, most of their guys are going to be back. And I think that it's going to be really tough for Miami to win this game, no matter what. Indiana is one of the best CFP prepared teams I think that we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And still, I think Carson Beck makes me nervous. And I don't believe that Carson Beck can perform at a level. And obviously I'm being measured here. I'm not trying to crush the kid. I don't believe that Carson Beck's a national championship caliber quarterback. I think he's a guy that makes mistakes at the wrong time. Now, did he do that against Ole Miss? He did not. He did not do that against Ole Miss. But I think it is.
But again, what dynamic played out against Ole Miss to allow him to be in that position? Well, you're on that drive to go win the game, right? What was taking place? The defense was exhausted. Your guys were winning their matchups, and so they were open. So you were basically playing catch with them, pitch and catch, straightforward throws, basic ass throws for a quarterback playing at Carson Beck's level. So again, it's just, I'm not saying the guy sucks, but what I am saying is that your receivers are not going to be open by 3 feet in this game. Indiana is going to be all over your guys. You're going to have to place the ball.
If Frederic but on the other side of that, you could say the same thing. Now, I think Indiana's got a much more diverse skill position on offense. Their wide receivers and tight ends are excellent. And obviously their win percentage on running snaps is ridiculous. But Frederic, if Damari Brown is capable of playing 70% of the defensive snaps, you're going to be in a very good spot. And again, Xavier Lucas is going to miss the first half after the targeting penalty, but it looks like Frederic and Brown are going to play. And I think that you're going to have to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback. And I also think that Moten looking like he's going to play after that, whatever that ankle injury was against Ole Miss, is huge. I think the other thing we don't talk about is what you're saying now. The wide receiver gang at Indiana is nothing to play with. And I think that's where this game will be won and lost. Will Fernando Mendoza throw an interception in this game? I mean, Surratt's been really, really good. I mean, 115 yards and 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
I don't know. Is Indiana playing from in front or behind?
They're going to be playing from the lead.
Then he's not going to throw an interception.
I would probably guess that. I mean, you look at Surratt, Cooper, Nowakowski, Becker, Indiana's just better. Indiana's deeper, more experienced. They don't make mistakes. I think this is going to be a very difficult game for them to compete, in my opinion. RX says Indiana could very well be a great team, but wow. They're very good.
Yeah.
No-name Indiana players are going to dominate Miami physically. Well, they're not no-name players. I mean, you look at the offensive line. The offensive line at Indiana, I don't know what you mean by no-name players. I am telling you that Indiana's offensive line is not a bunch of no-names. Indiana's offensive line is absolutely dominant. And I think it's going to be really difficult for Carson Beck to stand in the pocket and deliver a football. I think Fernando Mendoza is going to have a much better time because you just look at the way. I mean, Indiana, as accurate as Fernando Mendoza is, part of Fernando Mendoza's success is that his receivers are the number 1 receiver group in Power 4 amongst Power 4 teams on contested catches. So he's accurate in his ball placement, is probably the best of any top quarterback. And yet his wide receivers, when the ball is up in the air, almost always win their battles. So if he's under pressure and he throws one up, he's got confidence that his guys are going to go up and get it. Do you understand that 25% of Indiana passes this season have been contested? That's wild. That's wild. Indiana completes 44% of their contested passes. How do you explain that? Oh, because the ball's placed well and the wide receivers win their battles. I am telling you, Indiana's game plan should be run the ball, hit a big play. Because they're going to physically move you off the spot. They're a really good run blocking unit. And they give Mendoza plenty of time to deliver a one-read throw. And he does that better than anybody else in college football. Or at least this year he has.
Yeah.
I think Indiana's probably going to be that team that, because again, their win rate and their success rate on first and second down running the ball is number 1 in P4. I think their win rate on second down, 70% in running snaps. They win, which means I believe what that stat is telling you is their running backs have room and lane and they finish their runs, which Indiana running backs are number 1 in the country at finishing their runs, which means after contact gaining positive yards. When you hit an Indiana running back, he doesn't fall backward. How does that happen? Well, he's got momentum. He's got momentum because the offensive line is moving their opponent and creating running lanes. It's just very difficult.
Yeah.
It is very difficult. Yeah, Mike, as long as Indiana can run the ball, they will be able to get the passing game going. Totally agree. Malachi Toney, X factor in this game. Because Indiana can play both man and zone, and it's very tough to man Malachi Toney.
Mm-hmm.
He does create a lot of problems for defenses.
But I think if you're Indiana, and again, this kind of comes down to Indiana, coming out and seeing what Miami has to offer early in the game and what Miami's going to try and do. But if you're Indiana, I would think that you're going to try and take away Malachi Toney. You're going to force Carson Beck to go to someone else to beat you. That's what I would be doing. As you should. So I would be, and again, if you're Miami, you can put Malachi Toney in the slot. You can put him in bunch formations. You can make that difficult and break, double coverage, no question about it. But I just, I think that, look, I think that this is an emotional game for Miami fan. I think Miami fan so desperately wants to win this national championship with how the season went, right? With the CFP drama, the Notre Dame drama, the narrative around Carson Beck, both off the field and on the field, the Mario Cristobal, mission to win a national championship,
right?
Post Oregon, I think is definitely a talking point amongst Miami fans, and I think that my Miami fan, again, and I'm not faulting you for this, but you believe probably that your team can do more against Indiana than they probably can. I think that it's doing Indiana, and again, I'm not even an Indiana fan. Hell, like Curt Cignetti is one of the biggest red asses in college football. I'm not an Indiana guy. But it's hard to deny the way with which they've dispatched teams. I mean, again, I know that I'm the throat slammer of Dan Lanning. Oregon's a damn good football team, dude. They're not a national championship football team, clearly, but they are not, 30 points worse.
That's right.
Than Indiana, right? Like they're not like in Indiana and Curt Cignetti have a way of leaning on you and beating you mentally. And I think what you're going to see early in this game, and I would encourage you, if you're going to watch this game, watch the first part of the game. The back half probably is not going to be too interesting. The front half of the game is, in my opinion, going to be one of the best physical battles we've seen all year long, because Miami's...
You can't play the second half without playing the first half. So that's a very good point, Jake.
Yeah, Miami's going to come out and try to inflict their will physically. Yeah, great. But Miami's going to come out and inflict their will physically, and I think that it'll be interesting to see what Indiana does about that.
Yeah, I am very curious to see what Carson Beck does. As good as Indiana looked in all three phases of the game, I don't see how Miami will even compete, much less win. Even with a true home field advantage, Indiana is just overwhelming, 42-14. And the one thing that Miami has going for it is it's faced a couple of really good football teams and beaten them soundly. And then, you look at the Ohio State game is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not even sure how we describe that, but you beat them soundly. There is no question about that. I mean, Ole Miss was a shootout. Miami's going to have to be remarkably better, but they handled Texas A&M. Texas A&M was never in jeopardy of winning that game. What was that, 10-3, I guess? They handled Ohio State, and they hung on and beat Ole Miss because they wore out Ole Miss. You look at Indiana, and you start looking at, again, I would remind you they're 15-0, but they absolutely dominated Alabama and Oregon. And I think Oregon was a horribly flawed football team. Obviously, we've talked about that. I don't care who you are. Alabama's got size, and they easily handled size. Do you think Miami can run the ball against IU, but IU will run it against Miami too? IU 28, Miami 24. If it's that close, Rock and Rant, I'm super appreciative of your and the overwhelming national media take on this. Can't thank you enough.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What take are you just generally, or what does that mean, bro?
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see how Miami compete. What I want from Miami? Please don't be stupid. Please don't have 10 penalties for 100 yards. Please don't
give them the game.
Don't get targeting penalties. Don't get, personal fouls on late hits. Like, you just don't need to do that.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. And I think you go back to the Ohio State game was probably Miami's best performance. And Carson Beck was still only 138 yards passing, but they ran for 153 yards against a really good defense. And the thing that stood out to me in that game was Julian Sand was not good. And Jeremiah Smith still had 7 for 157 and a tutty. That makes you a little nervous. But what did we also get in that game? We also got 153 yards and 98 of it out of Mark Fletcher. I want to see And now for me, I think Shamar Brown has to have a bigger role. I'd love to see 20 carries for Fletcher, and I'd love to see 10 carries for Brown. Because if you continue to wear on a defensive line, even if you're, 30 carries and 62 yards, okay, great, cool. Keep doing it. Because how much space does a CJ Daniels or a Keelan Marion or a Malachi Toney really need? Give me one really solid play action that sucks up the linebackers and slows down that defense a little bit. And Carson Beck's good enough to put the ball in the air and let his receivers make a play. That, to me, that's what Miami's going to have to do. You're going to have to run the ball when you really don't want to run the ball. Yeah. I saw this, Maury Alvarez, who's the Seaman Demon Rectory buzzer. Lowest ticket price is currently $3,000.
Yeah.
Indiana has that underdog mentality. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. Miami plays stupid. It will be ugly for sure. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I think that Miami's key to success in this game is possessing the football. You have to possess the football for a long time in this game. You need to, again, I said this on, I said this on Tuesday, I believe it was, but, and it's not just the, the overall time of possession matters, but like, I think that to beat Indiana, you got to take opportunities away from them. If you just keep giving them cracks at the apple, you're asking for trouble. Yeah. That offense is too good. So yeah, I would agree that Miami's best, most reliable form to win this game is the commitment to getting 3 yards a carry. If you get 3 yards a carry, you're going to get a lot of first downs in this game, because I don't care who you are. I don't care how good your defense is. 3rd and 1 consistently is not where you want to be as a defense. 3rd and 1 consistently is your offense driving down the field slow and methodically. And so if you can get, I don't think either team's going to possess it for 30 minutes, but if you can get, 26 minutes, 25 minutes of possession in this game, and you can be, 150 to 170 yards on the ground, and Beck can be 200 in the air, you're going to win the ball game. Yeah. But I think that it's all these other factors, the Malachi Toneys of the world, the wide receiver room, they may have their moments, but I'm telling you, the game is one where they're running the ball and getting 3 yards a carry. If they get 3 yards a carry, they will win the game. It just makes me nervous that you have this depth of diversity in Miami's offense. And there are just times where you look like you have no cohesiveness. You can't score. You can't. That's the Carson Beck effect. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes me nervous in this game. Because Indiana, we've physically watched team spirit leave their body. Yeah, that's what they did to Oregon, dude. Oregon quit on the sideline at the half. Right? And I don't think Miami will do that. Miami hates you too much to quit. But I want to see Carson Beck have an unbelievable performance, because that's what it's going to take. Everybody's going to have to do their job. Everybody's going to have to do their job. Mm-hmm. And Miami, we haven't seen that yet. The ticket prices are so high. If they sell out, Miami will have enough money to build a new stadium. Well, I don't know about all that. How is it a Miami show? It's Friday before the Natty, and they're picking Indiana. I don't think this is a Miami show. When did we become a Miami show, dude? 24-13. That seems likely. Oh, great. Now the Monty Show is a Miami show. There's some sarcasm in that. You're averaging 33 minutes of possession per game right now if you're Miami. Yeah. Yeah. And they've beaten good teams. And I saw Josh Pate pointing this out on, was it Rich Eisen? Somewhere. Miami's beaten a lot of playoff teams. Now, Notre Dame was that a playoff team? Well, everybody said we were, but we weren't. Miami's beat some good teams. The question to me is Indiana the historically good football team that they're telling you they are? If they go 16-0 and they thoroughly dominate Miami, that's one of the best college football playoff teams we've ever seen.
And I think this is going to be a closer game than people think. The question is, do we trust Miami not to be stupid?
No.
That's what I'm worried about. And Mario Cristobal teams generally are not highly disciplined teams. And there's no better example than the Ole Miss game. And I think what happens is the defense gets tired and you start making stupid mistakes.
Yep.
And that makes me nervous. That makes me very nervous.
Especially when you're playing from behind.
Yeah. We'll see. Come on, stadium guy, James. It's the secondary market. Miami has the same amount of tickets to sell as Indiana. They do. Jake, not for nothing, but one team has to have at least 30 minutes of possession. There are only 60 minutes in a game. And but who's gonna control the time of possession? It's a big question. Thanks for catching the sarcasm, Monty. You're welcome. These guys are Utah, BYU, Big 12, SEC, Pac-12 homers. And don't forget Gloria Navarez is in our pocket.
And demon haters.
You know. If Indiana goes on to be undefeated and win the title, it would be one of the best teams and runs in college football. Not quite as good as Notre Dame after their 2 losses, but close. I mean,
one of the best 10-game runs we've ever seen, dude.
Mike, you're such a dick, but you're not wrong. Oh, man.
Let me tell you something about this 10-game Notre Dame team. We won 10 games. And that win against the Girl Scout troop from South Mountain, Phoenix, Arizona, and we went to their compound. We beat wholesale ass and stole their cookies. 10 games, best ever.
We were shocked, I would say mystified by what happened on Sunday. And just, where my head and heart go, and I know Marcus feels the same way. You just feel for those student athletes on our football team. As I said yesterday, as I said on Sunday, we felt we did everything we could over the course of the season. We lost our first 2 games. We're not hiding from that. We lost against a really good Miami team. We lost a nail biter against Texas A&M. 2 great teams by a total of 4 points, and then we did everything we needed to do. We had one of the most dominant 10 games runs in the history of college football.
Shut the hell up, Pete. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about right now? Come on.
Listen, I am here for the fact that Notre Dame, I don't even know what to say about all that. Notre Dame is going to have one of the best rosters in all of college football next year. Mm-hmm. What will the excuse be about your 10-game run then? I mean, you look at that. Aiden Schuler's coming back. Leonard Moore's coming back. Christian Gray's coming back. I think Tay Johnson's coming back.
Yeah, all the bros in the secondary, dude.
Babacar Traore's coming back. Like all of our defense, the best players on defense.
Our defense.
And I understand that you can't get to the second half without playing the first half. But I think Notre Dame is returning its top 7 defensive players. And the portal's been amazing. Family. And to quote Jake, listen, you can't play the second quarter without playing the first quarter.
U.S. Americans.
Okay. And we can't go undefeated. I truly believe as a U.S. American that you can't go undefeated without winning game 1. You know what I'm saying?
And I want that known.
But that 10-game run from last year.
Bro, look at James trying to relate with you, dude. Look at this. Look at this. Do you know what Notre Dame and Oak State have in common? Absolutely nothing. Neither team won a conference game. Badadat.
Don't you have a pedophile priest to arrest? Like, can we?
Well,
no. I'm going to give you because you've come out, because James has risen today, right? He pushed the stone out of the way from the tomb door and has brought himself back to life here on the
Here
Monty.
I am.
I'm going to give you a pass as though you said, I was going to make a Virgin Mary joke, but that's probably not going to go over well here. My point is, listen, James, don't ever compare Oak State to Notre Dame again. And I don't know why you continue to comment on Oak State. You're a TCU
When I woke
fan.
up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
I mean, what's Notre Dame and TCU have in common? Nothing. I mean, our coach beats up people at wrestling tournaments, allegedly.
I'm a man.
But we have a quarterback who's probably going to win a Heisman Trophy. Oh, James. No. James, please, James.
Oh, James. Oh, that joke was not lame, sir. James.
I don't have anything. I just, he has risen. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oak State James has risen. He is. You guys, it is though you guys stirred. And what do they call it when you shake up the demons and you conjure?
Biologics.
You guys conjured. Oak
You
State
brought up
James.
the Ouija board in the comment section and, got him to come back. Yeah.
Jesuit James making jokes about Notre Dame is ironic.
Jesuit James.
Now he's not a Gideon.
You ought to know you bought it.
Can we go back to talking about how you can't win the second half without the first half?
Human or non-human?
Jesuit James.
Bro.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
What did TJ Beck say? James. James thinks Oak State can beat the Bears. All right, before we get out of here today, here's my question. Will I show up here on Tuesday listening to the piano music? Or will I show up here on Tuesday bearing down? I think this is going to be an exquisite football game. And I hope that Matthew Stafford sees his ultimate demise. I hope that Montez Sweat. A true Jesuit, crawls into orifices that Matthew Stafford didn't know that he had. And I really hope that we can tackle. Because if we can, listen, if the Bears can run the ball, if the Bears can catch the ball, if the Bears can throw the ball, and if the Bears can tackle, they're going to be in a football game. And I think if the Bears can finish the first half, they'll be able to come out on the field and play the second half.
I want better fucking execution.
These are the things that I need to know about the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, see, and this is a great point right here, Brandon, right here. This is a great point. Before we get there, James, I love you. Pick the Rams. See? That's a great point, dude.
Exactly right.
That's a great point.
Right. Oak State Jake, the Rams fan.
Yeah.
James, for you, Brandon, go Rams. Great. Now it's sarcasm, so it doesn't count. Odds that Monty paints his fingernails if the Bears win, -150.
Yeah.
The Bears should win this game.
Yes.
They should win this game. What? Vegas Kane. I have $1,000 ticket on Miami preseason to win the title. Indiana's favorite. It's impossible to hedge. Don't hedge it. Don't hedge it. Let it ride, man. Let it ride. Whether the Bears win this weekend or not, I'm happy and thankful that they beat the Packers. Yeah.
Oh, it's already been a phenomenal season. Everything from here is
Stop with
cherry
this
on top.
Ben Johnson nonsense about how he disrespected the game of football with his handshake. Come on. Ben Johnson, after the game, essentially did a flyby on Matt LaFleur. LaFleur. And, you know, all the things that were said and done in the post game about beating the Packers, people are saying that Ben Johnson disrespected the game of football. Ben Johnson, how dare you? Who are you, Mark Harlan?
Yeah,
My
seriously.
point is, Ben Johnson didn't disrespect the game of football, right? Like, come on, we got to be better than that. I think it is incredibly. This is going to be a very close game, and it's going to come down to who makes a cold weather mistake. And well, I hope you're right. 28-14 Bears, and then hopefully, and then I think this is the big one. 49ers Seahawks, and Sam Darnold says he's going to be fine.
You know, just in routes on air, just kind of felt a little something about oblique. Just didn't want to push it. You know, wasn't the day to push it, so that was it. So just came inside, got some rehab, and you know, feel like I'll be ready to go for Saturday.
That was just today.
That's not good. Now
That
you have the
is-
handshake video.
Well, yeah, I put it back in there. We have limited storage that we can work with, dude, and you can't pay for more. So
There's Connor Gordon took care of it. That's a very cursory handshake. No.
how is that disrespecting football, dude? He gave the guy a taste of his own medicine.
LaFleur did.
Yeah, that's exactly what LaFleur did to him. Like, I don't understand why this is even controversial.
Yeah. Ditka would scream at reporters, flip off other teams, fight coaches on the sidelines. Ben Johnson is the guy we need. Screw the Packers and anyone who thinks that class wins games. Yeah, f- the Packers.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I hate the Packers. F- the Packers.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I just am. I also bet 1,000 last year on Cam Ward to win the Heisman at midseason. I was counting the money. Yeah, how'd that work out? You know,
Rough, dude.
we'll see. I'm taking the Seahawks to cover the 7. I'm taking the Bears to win outright.
Under,
I am.
though. Under.
I don't know. Is Puka Nakua going to be able to play on that? Dude, can they throw the ball the way? Can the Rams throw the ball the way they have? Because the Bears don't need to throw the ball to win. The Bears are a run-first team. Our success has always this season been predicated on running the ball. We run the ball and throw it to the tight ends better than anybody else's offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Can the Rams adjust their offense to? That's a big question. We'll see. I'm taking the Texans to win outright, and I'm taking Denver to cover the 1.5. So you disagree about the Texans?
Yeah, Patriots are going to win that game. It's going to be a close one, but Patriots are going to win that game, and it's going to go over.
What do you mean? Is the tree still up in Salt Lake? Yes, dude. Don't get me started. The whole.
Oh yeah, we didn't get to talk about this yesterday. Would you like to discuss? Or are you good?
So you know we've been having issues where for 4 months we have not been paid from our property management. Some of that is us. We need to set up a bank account. So my wife gets on a call last week with the property management company. Done. Okay, cool. Money's coming. Then we get an email. Due to unforeseen technical errors, we are not able to disperse funds. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I need to see a proof of funds. I need to know that you have my money. They won't even answer that question. They've completely ignored it. They won't even answer the question. Now it's, well, your insurance certificate. It's not the technical glitch. Now your insurance certificate doesn't list the property management company as covered. Well, it actually does, but it's not on the declaration page. Yeah, it's not going to be either. Okay, well, then we did that. Okay, so we showed them that. No problem. So you're going to send me my money, right? No. Why not? Well, because the ACH form and the portal's no longer available I'm telling you, it's a scam. It's absolutely a scam. My wife has been great about calling them. I got a guy on the phone yesterday, whatever this guy's name is, and he's like, oh, yeah, we can't disperse your money because an improper property inspection was done. And I said to the guy, so now it's not a technical error. Now it's not the insurance. Now it's not the bank account. Now it's at we lack a proper property inspection.
Yeah, I think that I'm assuming you have a contract with this property management company of some kind, a commitment to them of some variety. I would be Listen, if this was on the other side of the country, I would say, hey, you got to stay with you got to have property management company. But it's not. It's an hour and a half flight away. Like to me, I don't know, man. Everyone, you and I have a lot of experience with property management companies, both through, flipping real estate, running Airbnbs, all kinds of stuff that we've done. And every single time it's been the same rigmarole. It's been the same. Oh, there's this, there's that, X, Y, and Z, pay more than you should, don't get your money on. Like it's just not worth the time. And I think that for you guys with the experience you have, you don't have 50 properties, dude. You have one property and you have, in my opinion, you have really good tenants that are reliable. Like I don't see a big need for it. I would probably be getting out at the end of the contract.
Yeah, it is really difficult. If they don't send us our money today, I'm going to report them to the Department of Real Estate. I don't see any other avenue because they don't call you back. They promised me multiple callbacks yesterday. Never happened. Right? I reached out to their CEO, never called me back. And I have had email exchanges with 3 different people and none of them will acknowledge my request because I don't think they have the money. My opinion is they don't have the money ready to send. And that's why now all of a sudden we have to have some erroneous property inspection. And, our name's not on the rider. Well, or not on the declaration page. You're named as insured on the policy. Our agent confirmed that to you and we sent that to you.
Yeah.
Well, you got to use this portal to set up your bank account. Now we use that portal and you're saying it's not enough. And now we don't have access to that portal anymore. Ah, I see. It's a shell game. Yeah. In my opinion, it's a complete shell game. And I think they are absolutely playing games with it. I think they're absolutely playing games with it.
Yeah, that's terrible, bro.
The biggest issue is they know that once you are in business with them and they are collecting your rent for you and maintaining your hot tub, and they know it's a pain in the ass to switch and they count on it that you won't switch. We're going to switch. Or, I
wouldn't switch. I would use Turbo Tenant as your portal to have the renters pay you. And yeah. I would just run it independently. There's just not enough of a need. If you had several properties, I'd be like, yeah, you probably need someone who's got dedicated time to handle the issues. But what are we really talking about? We're talking about probably an issue every couple of months. This needs to be fixed, or hey, I got this, or I'm dealing with that. Yep. Okay, cool. You're probably 20 minutes to call an internet company or a handyman or whatever. Like, it's just not that arduous yet. That's the problem, and I guess I just so much would rather have it's so much better when the money's taken care of and you just have to handle those odds and ends once in a while versus playing this dumb game. And that's what's crazy.
And it is a dumb game. It is a time vampire. It is a time vampire. And they're supposedly an Inc. 1000 company. And what does any of that mean to me when you're refusing to pay me my money?
Are you able to see that the tenant, because I'm not down in the tenant's paying the rent, but you can see that they've paid.
The tenant has paid the rent.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you have that proof, you know what I would do? I would probably get your contract with them reviewed by your guy. I know you have a guy that reviews contracts and things like that for you. Get it reviewed by your guy and see what the recourse is, because this is just going to keep getting worse every month that the tenant pays rent and they don't pay you.
Yeah, it is so frustrating because if you think about it, look how much money, and I pay them $300 something a month to do this.
Yeah.
And I am paying, not only am I paying an excessive rent for my condo in Seattle, but I'm paying HOA, mortgage, all of it in Salt Lake. And I have not seen a penny of return. Not a penny of return.
Yeah, that's wild, dude.
And I'm at the point now where I am going to raise Cain today. And I don't care.
Yeah.
I do not want excuses. I do not want problems. I want answers today. And I let my wife handle it yesterday, and it's the same old runaround. It's what I call moving the goalpost.
Yep.
You just keep moving the goalpost about what we need to do to get our money, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough. We have done everything they asked us to do, and it's still not good enough. So it is really frustrating. And this is true. I said this to the guy yesterday on the phone I was talking to. I said, if I had 20 properties, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And it's because I'm a small fish in their bigger pond. You know, it's Friday, Timothy. Yes, it is. Well, who are you, Jake? You got to play the first half to get to the second half. Tenant damaged my fridge. The property manager did everything they could not to repair it. Get out of it ASAP. Probably should. HOAs turn snoopy, petty people into power-hungry tyrants. Yeah, HOAs are the death of life.
Yeah.
They are the death of life. And I hope that I will never own in an HOA as well. How long will you be in Seattle? Unknown. My wife is a juggernaut baller who has a job here that requires us to be here right now. No idea how long we'll be here.
Yeah.
But my house is fine. I know my neighbors, right? Jake's talked to my tenant. Went and picked
You have
up
really good tenants.
package.
Yeah. The tenants are middle-aged people who seemingly are taking really good care of the place. You know, they were super nice.
Nearby,
they have kids about 5 minutes. Their kids, I guess, have a house that's on Ogre Lake.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's a perfect tenant situation. That's the shame of it, is that this really shouldn't be a thing that's taking up mental capacity for you. It should be a thing where, hey, they're paying the rent, everything's fine, and you never really hear from them. That's how as a tenant, that's how I like to be with my landlords. Hey, rent's paid, never hear from me, no issues. And the only time I ever have issues is if something doesn't work that I can't fix, like the AC unit, the electrical panel, or anything else like that. That's the only time that I've ever caused an issue with my guy that I work with over here. But again, it's funny we're talking about this with your house, because I feel like the guy that owns the 10 townhouse thing that I live in runs it himself, because he just has the builder on site. And so I feel like property management companies give everybody a hard time, man, for no apparent reason.
It is so frustrating. It is so frustrating. It'll get done today, because I will not rest until it's done today.
Yeah, and you are
my internet issue.
Yeah.
I am a dog on a raw piece of meat when I need to be. My internet issue. Like, I have a cable running through my condo because my Wi-Fi router is ass. So
There's not an internet port in your room?
There is not an internet port in my room.
Wow, that's a little surprising.
In this office, there's not an internet port.
Hmm.
Well, and I didn't need it because I was getting speed of light Wi-Fi. Like I had incredibly fast Wi-Fi. And then one day a piece of equipment in my condo tower broke, and it's never been the same. And so I've had trouble getting back in touch with them. Like nobody calls me back. So I emailed the CEO who blew me off, and I sent him a really terse CEO. The CEO, I sent him a really, because I intentionally went with a local, smaller internet provider. Because I am done dealing with the Comcasts and the CenturyLinks of the world.
Mm.
And you get the same big company problems in a small company. So I sent the CEO of that company a really terse email. He answered. And he said, here's what we're doing. He said, you had a piece of equipment that broke, and it's taken us longer to fix it than we had hoped because we didn't have parts available. And in February, we're going to be retrofitting your building for super speed. And he said at that point, I'd love to, let's meet. I'll be in your building on a daily basis for 3 days. Let's sit and talk and meet. Said, in the meantime, what do you need? And I said, here's what I need. And he said, I'll get back to you tomorrow. But I sent him a note that said, I think I titled it, What's It Gonna Take? And I said to him, I've called you, and his people have told me he's out of town. He's busy. He's sick. He's gone for the holidays. And I said to him, I've heard all of your excuses from your folks telling me you're sick, you're out of town, and I still don't have reliable internet. And he responded, he's like, I really appreciate how direct you were. Because it wasn't rude, I was just very direct.
Yeah.
So at least
business is business, bro. Yeah, business is business. And it's a very simple proposition. Value for money works perfectly fine until you're not delivering the value, but you're still taking the money.
Yeah,
it's not that hard.
And it makes me crazy.
Yeah.
It does make me crazy. All right, that's it. Show's over. Happy Friday. Go Canes, go Bears. Indiana's going to win the national championship, and the Bears are going to finish playing football this weekend. I hope I'm wrong on both, but I'm probably not. Yeah, the Monty Show is always presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime at theadvocates.com until Tuesday. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.